Hi,
Yeah,
I'm
that's good.
Josh. Hi, I'm Rinaldi.
Yeah, Ali. How are you?
Josh and Rinaldi are our two DevOps engineers that are here.
Hmm. Okay.
Um, so, thank you for calling in. Sorry for a little bit of delay. I figure we can jump right in. Can you
Mhm.
tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yes, actually. So basically, I would like to say, coming to my Windows responsibilities, I'm actually working as a DevOps engineer, and I was with like various cloud integration environment center for responsible for like working some of the custom integrations and creating the deployments like runtime services and other law responsible for like releasing the application to the target servers. And apart from that, excuse me, also but some of the orchestrated promotion of the like code in this case, and then apart from that, I was also working on release management, and also in the recent project I was actually work on Visual Studio team services and deployments in one of the interactive developers and priorities on the issues, and using SQL databases with like API key to manage the nodes and specify the continuous deployment, and using Ansible playbook and integrating the Ansible with the Jenkins, and working on the various kinds of monitoring of the applications in the studio environment, and using the Azure DevOps for the application and measurements, and then working on the orchestration promotion of the code, and also get the approval of the various stakeholders in the API, and unmanaged continuous integration and deployments on top of that, and release date. As part like apart from that, also working on the specification of the SQL databases for the API key, and time to work on multiple priorities, and using Docker integration environment for the custom application images in the cloud using Jenkins, and configuring the Docker containers for the branching purposes, and then implemented automation solutions for continuous integration and delivery models, and then finally, use the various condition from Artifactory and Annexes for like a deployment of the tools in this case, and work on top of that like for the release integration, I'd like to say.
Okay, very good. Okay. Um, so I see on here, you're with ADP.
Mhm.
Can you tell me why you're looking to leave?
So my project is about to end of this Feb. I'm a contractor, so basically my contract is about to end. So we set all the pipelines for production environment, and one of our project went to live. So you know, we are giving like 24 by 7 support for my prod environment.
Okay. Okay.
So
Can you tell us a little bit about the application that you support?
yeah, so, yes, actually. So the application we support in the ADP is actually like the REST API application, which is access of the front end application. So basically, it is actually one of those like application which has a payroll, and other kind of APIs like which are clean like bank, and the Century is a payroll and automation software on the runtime. Then actually also like handle the various container banking services and write the process, the payroll and the income tax statements, and simple skills like in paper of like weight loss, help the various like lines about the financial API. In this case, like the day collection, like get the data inside, and that get out from there.
All right. Um, Interesting. So, and what about the infrastructure that supports it?
So basically, like we run the Amazon Web Services cloud, and running almost like 15 of the Amazon tools and technologies, including, but not limited to working on the Amazon Web Services, Elastic Compute like cloud, as well as like virtual private cloud, and apart from that, also working on the integration and deployments on the runtime environment, and then apart from that, like lots of Elastic like compute cloud and implements, and also working on the release integration on orchestration of the application services, and then get approval, and a part of like that. I was also responsible for deployment integration and release management, and also we could work on the Elastic deployment integration services, and get the approval from there. And I would like to say like that you are considered like promotion can be like handled as part of the runtime, and then also how we could like release application services on the pipeline.
I'm sorry, what tool did you say you used for that?
Like which one? The we're using the Jenkins
the pipeline?
file-based. Yeah, we use Jenkins file-based Groovy pipeline for the automated deployment. So basically, this is actually the Jenkins integration of the like runtime services, and this is helping us to promote the code in automatically, also test code in the case of connection used as a part of runtime services, and then also orchestrate these services on runtime and deployment, and get approval, and also promote someone like the level integration in the climate services, and also talk to the various integration services, and also some of the applications, and in the demand on like service level integrations.
All right. I gotcha. I was wondering, do you have any experience working with IIS?
Yes, actually. So I have very good experience on like administration on like Microsoft IIS, and like responsible for doing some of the troubleshooting and configuring as well, like reinstalling SSL certificates on the Microsoft server. And apart from like I was also responsible for integrating with the Visual Studio team services on the runtime integration environment, and apply that on like services. And apart from that, also try to make sure like that we are in the capacity management of like application and release date.
Is that something that you do right now or at a previous job?
No, right now actually.
All right. Because it's not on here, right? Yeah,
I've never seen IIS. Okay.
So I see here you said you have experience configuring baselines. I was kind of curious if you could go into what exactly that means.
So, sorry, I couldn't hear your answer.
It says here you have experience configuring baselines.
Mm-hmm.
What does that mean?
So yes. So basically, we can configure the various kinds of baselines for the code as well, like for the infrastructure. So basically, there was a baseline in structure which was like defined in our environment. In this like environment of like action taken from the source code, and we support like Android, apply that using like Terraform, apply to the baseline of the code as well as the images, and that were created like and utilized as a part of the runtime integration, and then the source code was handled there on the third-party services, and also used the orchestration monitoring of the code on the Terraform, applied like try to deploy group of bridges on the environment. And apart from that, I would like to say that in this orchestration mode, in this case, and then using monitoring of the code is in the runtime services, and also use the form templates like this is, so the connection of the baseline of the application, I would like to say.
Okay.
So then, do you have a lot of experience working with a static environment as opposed to the dynamic environment that you're generating?
Yeah, I have got like good experience on set like environment protection using like some static and dynamic, yeah, like my services and microservices and new lies on like runtime integration environment, and then apart from that also worked on production services and deployment, and also working on service level integration, and to make sure that we have the new life of the application in like Amazon, help those of the production services of the uh, climate, so it can be handled in like proper way, so that um, it was actually working on the analyzing and target missions and help those runtime services and get the approvals on the source code, and get the Amazon Web Services deploy and get those like target missions. Stand apart from that, also worked on orchestration promotion and the code deployed in this case, like this, which is like
So then, how much of your environment? Like, I see you have you guys use VMware. So how much of it is in VMware, and how much of it is in Azure?
so I would like to say that I like 40% of I was like on VMware and 60% on Microsoft Azure Cloud, and then it like that on runtime integration environment, and then apart from that handle the various like kind of integrations on the on-premises services in the cloud.
And is that the way you plan on keeping it, or are you like in the middle of migrating more stuff out?
So we are like middle of the integration on like cloud level environments. We like to say like we can actually take it to the ground level and management, and I would like to say that we are in the middle of the application cloud migration on the cloud, and apart from that worked on source code environment and handle the cloud deployment in this case, and like also orchestrate these and like try to make them release date of the application, and also orchestrate like that on the certificate in like measurements and handle source code is like part of the application, and those are get the approvals which were done there.
So were you involved at all with the initial migration to Azure? Because I see that either at ADP and at Maryland Department of Human Services.
Yes, actually. I was involved in the initial creation of the natural resource management template, and then apart from that, I was also responsible for the application orchestration, and also can be handled on like runtime services, and apart from that, I was also responsible like how the application source code can be taken and there and rebuilt in the real-time environment and without any downtime, and then apart from that, I was also responsible for orchestrated deployments and getting the approval of the application services and orchestrated promotion of like service level integration and put the source code there. And I would like to say like definitely this is actual built on the real-time environment, and handle that on the target mission, which like say definite team I was like responsible for doing that.
Okay.
So then, when you actually started at ADP, did they have nothing in the cloud at the time?
So it's that they have like 10% of services on the cloud, and the rest was on the on-premises. So would like to say like it's that actually that was like a cloud environment, and those take to the database dump of like backup of the mechanical projects on the target machine.
All right. Yeah, that's pretty good. We're kind of in the early stages right now as well of trying to get things moved into Azure. So that kind of experience would actually be great for us if you have the experience with moving from VMware specifically into these cloud services.
That's good.
That's pretty good.
And like how big is the team there? And
So
day-to-day activities they are doing, and um, what they are trying to do.
So, as for the team, there's only two of us doing the DevOps portion. In development, we have about 15 .NET developers. We have a team of about 8 or 10 QA doing all the testing on that. So when they have it done, they ship it to us, and we'll send it out to production. We have a team of about 6 or 7 business analysts, project managers. We also have a team of about 8 infrastructure systems engineers. So we kind of work with all these people. As for the culture, we're all in one room working together.
Open floor plan.
Cool.
Yep.
Okay, cool.
And then, what was your next question?
And like, what their expectations?
Oh, that's right, like day to day. So, of course, the number one thing day to day is watching production, monitoring it, making sure everything's good to go. That goes from like the health of our servers to the health of the application itself, monitoring the error logs and working with QA to get issues resolved. Outside of that, our project work right now is mostly geared towards getting into Azure, whether it be looking at their offerings for Azure Files, or looking at trying to move like app cache for Redis is something else that we want to push out there. By the end of this, we're looking to get our entire application stack running in Azure, from our web application to our API to our database. All of it we want to get out there, but right now it's all on-premise.
Cool. Cool. And do you have any questions?
What tools do you use currently for monitoring your application?
So, so basically, like, we use App Dynamics and New Relic and Nagios, and like, we also use like HubSpot and C Advisor.
Okay.
App Dynamics, we're setting it up right now. Yeah, we're actually going through a trial of App Dynamics at the moment.
Cool.
Trying to get that set up. We're coming off of using SolarWinds Orion, which has not quite been meeting our needs.
So in your current position, do you maintain actually building all of the VMs and everything that you control? I see in there you had some experience with configuring, supporting, and maintaining all your network, firewall, storage, load balancings, OS, all that for AWS. Do you do the same for Azure?
So we'll have a like static environment as now, like, but we have some of the microservices which are totally controlled by the CloudFormation template and using the Microsoft environment. And apart from that, also worked on like resource management templates for the availability, and set as well as the VPN gateway for the express route wishes, like configured for the data center migration. And I would like to say users and provides data bridges for the applications, and API handles the complete formation CloudFormation template for the application environment, and sustainable like infrastructure from the scratch for the services.
Okay. One other question I have is, since we're located back here in Sparks, which it looks like you were familiar with in your previous at Web Mason, are you good about relocating?
Yes, actually, I love to relocate back to Maryland. I've been worked there before, so I know I'm very familiar to the place and the location. I don't have any location constraints.
Okay, good. Anything, guys? Good. Do you have any questions for us?
Not really. I already been asked. Cool.
Okay. All right. You guys good?
And,
Well, Ajay, thank you for your time today.
and thanks for your time and patience during the interview process. I really appreciate it.
No problem. No problem. Thank you.
There you go. Thank you. Bye-bye.